Hi ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to set up our final copy of the lab. So your final draft of the lab is supposed to be typed. So that means that you need to open up either Word or Pages, or if you want to, a Google Doc. And we're just going to talk about exactly how to set it up to get started. So first off, we don't want to change the margins. They should just be normal margins. So everyone's should be set. Let's see where to find it here. On our layout for margins, it should just say normal. Okay, so it says 2.5 centimeters at the top and 2 centimeters left, 2 centimeters right. Okay, that's all fine. So we just don't want to change it. So we're leaving it just like it is. So we don't want to have a huge space at the top, nor do we want a big space on the sides. Then go back to home. We're going to change the font. So we want the font to be Times. So I go through, let's see, it's not listed at the top. I'm going to go down in alphabetical order here. And I'm going to click on Times. And I don't see any difference between Times and Times New Roman. So either one of these is totally fine. So I'm just going to click on Times. Then it asks for an MLA header. So we're going to first write our name. So I'm just going to make up a name actually. So Timothy Smith will be the student name. So you're writing your name first and last. And then actually, we want to set up one more thing. So we are going to double space our entire lab as well. So on everything double spaced. So after we write Timothy Smith, okay, make sure we double spaced it here. So just at that paragraph spacing. Then we're going to write the name of the teacher. So Ms. Weisberger. So write my name. And that's the name of the class. So this is biology, grade 9, and then if you want, you can write section, 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so say section 1. All right, then we're writing the date. So the date should be the due date. So if I'm in section 1, then the date is the 5 December 2017. If I'm in the other classes, then it's 6 December, okay? Then I'm going to click down and I'm going to center because I'm going to write my title. Now for the title, it cannot be exactly the same as our questions. We just have to rephrase it to make sure it's specific to our lab. So it cannot just be Enzyme Lab because that is not specific. So trying to think of something to make it a little bit more clear. So if you remember on the board, I kind of made up that I was investigating the pH and the impact of the pH on the enzyme function, and I made that up when we were looking at our data table and drawing our data table. So let's say I did an experiment about pH. So then maybe I'm writing for my title, okay, the impact of pH on the catalase enzyme reaction. All right, perfect. So I'm summarizing the topic of my entire paper, and then I'm worried about what I need to type. So there's really 3 main sections that I need to type. So the first one is materials. So we selected our materials, so I'm going to make it bold and I'm going to underline it. And then I'm just going to add the semicolon there, just so that I can make a list. Is this the semicolon or is the other one the semicolon? I don't know, you guys can correct me later. It's been a long time since I've taken a grammar class. So I'll add this, okay? Maybe this one's the colon, I think. And the colon will just mean that I'm making a list. So then I'm listing all of my materials. I want to indent them just so that it looks a little bit neater. So I'm going to hit the tab button every time I add something. And then I might include, so I have to include everything I used and the quantities. So let's say I needed just for me 1 pair of safety goggles. Okay, and I'll capitalize the first word there. And then I needed, what else did I need? Maybe I needed 5, and I'm going to say medium. Test tubes. Then I needed, okay, so I'm just going to continue on. So it's really up to you, but I want you to make sure that you're listing everything that you needed, okay? And be really specific. So what was the size of it? What was the quantity? So after materials, then it's time to list your procedure. write my procedure, and our procedure is supposed to be a numbered list of items. So bold, underlined, okay? Then after that, okay, I don't want it to be bold and underlined forever. I'm going to make a numbered list. So I'm just going to hit those number buttons up here. And now I'm writing all the steps that my group came up with, making sure that I revise anything that's necessary. So step 1 would probably be gather all of the lab materials. Step 2, put on your safety goggles, okay, etc. So then I'm continuing after that, just listing every little thing that we decided. If we needed to make revisions, so let's say that I originally said we were going to use 1 gram pieces of liver, but then we really used 2 gram pieces of liver, then I would make that change in the procedure and also in the materials. So that's fine, but you'll continue on until you're done, just making sure everything's double-spaced and looking good. And then finally, whoops, you should have your conclusion. Your conclusion should be in a paragraph form. So we'll start maybe with an indent, and then we're writing everything that we wrote, including all of the revisions from our peers. So I might start out with the purpose of this lab activity, okay, and etc. So starting with everything that I thought was important about this lab, everything that's significant, any sources of possible error, anything that we learned about enzymes. So just trying to write as much as I can that we learned from the lab and about enzymes in the conclusion. So it should still be double spaced. If it makes sense to make it multiple paragraphs, then make it multiple paragraphs, okay? So that, that is up to you. This, I'm guessing, your conclusion. If your conclusion is not about a page, then it's probably not as detailed as we're really looking for. So make sure that you're making it really detailed and really clear. Also make sure that you go through the rubric and that you're getting everything that you're supposed to have so that you'll be happy with your grade in the end. So keep typing, make sure everything looks good. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, in class, we are going to move on. So I need you to make sure that you're taking care of some of this on your own. Of course, if we have some extra time in class, then we could use it this way. But I would not depend on that, okay? All right, so have a good week and make sure that you're working on your lab and it's ready to go at by the beginning of December, okay?